Hello, this is Pranav from Aquatic Express, and today I'm going to be reading you a care guide about the zebra Danio. So first, these are fish that are native to India. These zebra Danios are very fascinating fish to watch and observe. So today we're going to be diving more deep into the care of this beautiful fish. As you can see, these are the zebra Danios. Alright, to start with, let's talk about their temperament. Their temperament is awesome. They are extremely peaceful fish. However, I do want to mention that they can be a bit of a fin nipper if you keep them with really long finned fish. Sometimes they just can be fin nippers. I've not noticed them to fin nip ever, but I have heard, there have been reports of these guys being fin nippers. And they will fin nip long fin fish such as guppies, etc. So you do want to keep these guys in a group of minimum of 5, ideally more, to spread out that aggression they have sometimes even between each other. It's not really aggression, it's just they're super active, so they're constantly like chasing each other around and picking at each other a little bit here and there, but they're not like super aggressive like tiger barbs or something like that. Okay, now let's talk more about tank mates. Alright, for tank mates, these guys are really great tank mates, community fish actually. So you can pair them with pretty much most other community fish. So in this tank we have them in with some we have them in with a bristlenose pleco, a clown pleco, and that combination has worked out fine. We have them in here with some nearite snails, that's fine. You can also pair them with shrimp. Just note that they may eat some of the shrimplets, but they generally leave the adult shrimp alone. We have them in here with some neon tetras. That's been working out fine. We have them in here with some mollies and some platies and a swordtail. We also have them in here with a pair of angelfish and a dwarf gourami. And we also have them in with a school of harlequin rasboras. And that combination has worked out pretty well for us. They're not really picking at each other or anything like that. They generally get along and do their own thing. Other tank mate options would be like cory cats, potentially endlers or guppies. Just depends on how the tank is set up, potentially. Also, they can go with other types of Danios, so they can go with giant Danios, pearl Danios, as long as the tank is big enough. They can go with white cloud mountain minnows, as those are also a great choice, as they're also peaceful and they get along pretty well with the zebra Danios. They can get along, like I said, with cory cats, shrimp. They also can get along with cichlids like angelfish. Also, they can generally get along with most gouramis. When I mean most, I mean like your more mellow gouramis. So like your dwarf gouramis, your pearl gouramis, and your honey gouramis are fine. I'd be a bit cautious with pairing them with some of the more aggressive gouramis like the blues, the golds, or the opalines. But any of those 3 gouramis are fine. I wouldn't keep them with bettas just because I mean, you could potentially keep them with bettas. Just note that you may want to have a backup plan in case the zebra Danios decide to become a bit fin nippy, but I have seen it work where they get along with bettas sometimes. Also, they can pretty much get along with other cichlids, so they can get along with apistos, I've seen. Crebensis, they get along with fine. Oh, they also can go with peacock gudgeons, I forgot to mention. They also can go with sparkling gouramis, as those are peaceful and those generally won't bother them. Okay, so now let's talk a little bit about their water parameters. Okay, so these guys are really easy fish. They're super bulletproof and they're not going to cause you any issues when it comes to water parameters. They're not very picky at all. They're not very picky at all. For me personally, I want to note that they tolerate a wide range of water parameters. So pH anywhere from 6.6 to 7.2 is fine. They can even go a bit higher. I've seen them, our pH is at around 7.6 and they're doing fine at that pH level, and they're fine. Temperatures, they're pretty tolerant. I found that they're fine with pretty much any temperature, anywhere from the mid 60s, so anywhere from 64 to 78 degrees is fine. They can also technically go in the higher temperatures, like 80 degrees, although I don't recommend that. That can just shorten their lifespan. It's not the best for them, but they can go in those cooler temperatures, and your aquarium may not require it either. You do want to keep them in a cycled aquarium, which means no ammonia, no nitrite, nitrates 20 parts per million or less. But if you do happen to put them in an uncycled aquarium, they will generally survive. I have had them in an aquarium by mistake when I had ammonia spike, and they were one of the fish that tolerated it really well. So that's pretty much them for water parameters. They're not very picky at all. They're really tolerant. Um, Now let's talk a little bit about tank setup. Okay, so tank setup and tank size. So let's first talk about tank size. Ideally, the ideal minimum I would recommend for these cows would be a 20 gallon. Now, if you wanted to put them in a 10 gallon, you could probably fit a small group in there by themselves. Ideally, a 20 gallon or larger is my minimum, just because they are extremely active fish and you do want to keep them in those larger groups. And they are very chill fish. So that is something I want to know. And also, it's not that these guys, I forgot to mention earlier, but these guys don't get like overly large. They get to about like 2 inches maybe max. But even then, I would still recommend at least a 20 gallon or larger so they have room to swim around, because they are extremely active fish. Now in terms of like tank setup, any decorations are fine. So you can have fake plants or real plants. As you can see here, we have we have mostly live plants, and we have like a castle, and we have like a ship, but it really doesn't matter what you put there. They're not picky. Substrate, they're fine. Gravel or sand works. Even if you don't want substrate, that's okay. They'll be fine. In terms of feeding, these guys are not picky eaters. They generally eat anything you give them, so pellets or flakes are fine. They also love frozen foods such as bloodworms and brine shrimp. I do give them that once a week as a treat. Once a week I give them bloodworms and brine shrimp, and they do enjoy that as a treat. But they also will enjoy live baby brine shrimp, and as long as they are being fed, they should be fine. So, just keep a note on everything I've said. Keep them in those groups. Keep them in a 20 gallon or larger. And thank you for watching, and have a great day.